Hey, if September 2025 seemed really busy for game releases, October is even crazier. So today we're rounding up 10 new game releases to look forward to in October. Starting off at number 10, just in time for spooky season, it's Little Nightmares 3. Little Nightmares 3 looks like it's continuing what Little Nightmares 1 and 2 set up, which was just great, solid, fairly simple horror adventures with a lot of quirk, charm, and unsettling atmosphere and monster designs. It's a different studio this time around. The studio from 1 and 2 have gone on to do different things, but here with Little Nightmares 3, it's still a studio that understands horror. Of course, the developers behind things like Until Dawn are working on this. And finally, it's actually completely co-op. I think that's really interesting. Little Nightmares 2 centered around 2 characters, but didn't actually take advantage of this. So now, playing with another person, going through these creepy environments, I think this could just be a really cool experience. Like I said, different studio this time around, so I have a little skepticism there, but again, at least it's people who understand horror. Still, I'm looking forward to this when it releases October 10th, 2025. Also, just real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. If you already have, we love you. And if you just subscribed now, we love you too. Anyway, next at number 9, Jurassic World Evolution 3. They continue to pump out these games, and they're consistently solid. If you like park builder style games, and if you like Jurassic Park, look no further. You're building your own Jurassic World Park here from the ground up. Not your grandpa's regular old Jurassic Park, but a bigger, crazier, more over-the-top park, but you're doing it from the ground up. Quote unquote, literally synthesizing, breeding, and nurturing prehistoric species, new creatures, new biomes, and of course, you know bad stuff is gonna happen. Because of course, say it with me folks, life finds a way. Look, there are gonna be 75 prehistoric creatures to manage. Like I said, from the ground up, you're breeding them, you're growing them, you're tailoring to their social needs, their biome needs, all that stuff. It's got a bigger campaign and just lots of stuff going on. And I'm hoping at this point, by the 3rd entry in the series, they've really perfected this formula, and now all they can do is just add more weird, interesting stuff on top of it. So, with that, Jurassic World Evolution 3 is releasing October 21st. Next, over at number 8, one of my most anticipated games of the year, it's Kingmakers. If you don't know what Kingmakers is, basically, what if you were dropped into a big, grand-scale medieval battle, but you were a guy with a car and a gun? It's a really, really good, simple, brilliant concept, and when this game initially was revealed by a small developer, it went completely viral, and since then, it seems like they've really expanded the concept. It looks like there's a little bit more strategy to this, but ultimately it looks like it does have some good, fun action in it. All different types of modern weapons and vehicles, but also dealing with hordes of medieval enemies and trebuchets and all types of stuff. So it seems like it's got the best of both worlds. A bunch of stuff for dumb action guys like me, and a bunch of medieval stuff for history nerds and dads. Unfortunately, this isn't quite a full release yet, but I think it's still a significant one. It's releasing in early access, just on PC right now, and it's October 8th. Next at number 7, Ninja Gaiden 4. It looks like they're back in full form here. Early impressions have been pretty positive with this one, and not only is it Ryu, but also a new character with a completely new moveset in a really new, fantastical world. Thankfully, even with so many departures here, just looking at the gameplay, it looks fast, challenging, chaotic, but controlled and precise, like a 3D Ninja Gaiden game should be. Gonna be honest, where we were at, I didn't know if we'd ever actually see a full-on new 3D Ninja Gaiden game like this. I can't believe there's a 4th entry. Not a reboot, not a remake, but a continuation. I think that's pretty cool, and I respect them for that. Good people working on this, people that understand combat, of course, Platinum Games and Team Ninja. It seems like a match made in heaven, and it seems like Xbox just had a really good idea bringing them together. I hope they nail it. We'll know for sure when we get our hands on it and review it when it releases October 21st. Next, over at number 6, Terminator 2D No Fate. This is another game that's on my most anticipated list for the year. It's a good month for me. Terminator 2D No Fate essentially is just a kind of old school retro style adventure, side-scroller shooter that aims to replicate the classic adventure of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which to me, this just looks like a Terminator game I wish I had as a kid growing up. It looks like it's just complete Terminator wish fulfillment. All the big action scenes are here. You're playing as all the characters from the movie, Sarah Connor, the Terminator himself, himself, John Connor in sequences, it looks like. This game also seems like it's jumping around between different types of gameplay varieties, so it's not just a straightforward 2D side-scroller the whole time. Also, the visuals, the music, just everything here, like, it really feels like they got it in the bag. I know these types of retro games aren't for everyone. I think modern audiences aren't really too into them, but I think this could just be an incredible representation of one of the best movies ever made. If anything, if it's a fun love letter to that, I am on board. It's releasing October 31st, 2025. Next at number 5, we have The Outer Worlds 2. This is Obsidian's next big first-person RPG. Clearly, once again, taking all the things they've learned from the classic RPGs they've worked on, like Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Fallout New Vegas, and they're making their own thing with it. Essentially, these games are kind of like Bethesda RPGs, but without the Bethesda-ness, and The Outer Worlds 1 was solid. It wasn't as big as I think some people were expecting. It's definitely quirky, it's definitely unique, but I think the second game looks like it's going much harder, a bigger world, more interesting factions, more characters, and a lot more combat opportunities. You notice in the marketing of this game, they show a lot more combat than they did in the first game, because I think that was one of the weakest aspects of The Outer Worlds 1. Either way, I'm glad they're giving this franchise another shot. I still think it has a lot of potential, and we'll see whether or not that is the case when this releases October 29th. Next at number 4, we have Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders has been in development for quite some time. They went back to the drawing board with some certain things, but I think what we might have here is a really interesting extraction shooter. One that I think breaks beyond the hardcore PC gaming crowd, and I think some people might be drawn to this. A PvPvE extraction shooter is something that we've seen before, but I think Arc Raiders has a really distinct identity. First of all, it's third person. Also, the types of monsters or robot creatures you're fighting, the art style, the vibe, the atmosphere, the look of the characters, all of it just feels different. It feels like it can stand out on its own. It doesn't feel like yet another generic shooter thing. And I think because of that, it's just a good opportunity for the extraction shooter to really shine. People in the community who have gotten their hands on alphas and betas and stuff seem like they're into it. There's some pretty positive sentiment out there. So I'm excited to see what general audiences think of this one, because I just love a good old-fashioned third-person shooter. Either way, this is releasing October 30th. Now down at number 3, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I am so excited that this game is finally releasing. It feels like it's been through development hell, delayed for many years, changing development studio, but what we finally have here is a sequel to what I consider a classic PC RPG franchise. There was nothing else quite like that original game. Now, this new one definitely looks different. It still seems like it's simulating you playing a vampire, but it feels a little less RPG-ish. Still, the vampire abilities look great, and you're going to be able to choose different vampire factions, and thankfully, the developers were going to initially have some of them as DLC, but thankfully, those are now all going to be in the main game. I'm curious to see how this goes. The way I look at it is if it doesn't live up to the legend of the original Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, if it can at least be a solid, decent vampire game, that's a win for me, because I don't think there are enough vampire games. Vampires and pirates, I think it's the two most underserved things in the world of video games, which is even crazy saying that out loud, but they don't have enough games. Either way, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is releasing October 21st, just in time for Halloween. Now down at number 2, Ghost of Yotei. This is Sucker Punch and PlayStation's follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima. Different time period, new main character, and a different portion of Japan. Despite that, what we've seen so far, it looks pretty familiar. It looks like more Ghost of Tsushima, but I don't think that's a bad thing, because that original game was just so damn good. Can the story of this new character live up to the story of Jin Sakai's? I don't know, but I'm willing to see them give it a shot. What's really interesting with this one is just how the game progresses. It's way less linear. There's more activities in the open world, but you're completely free to tackle these targets and progress the story in any way you see fit. Along with that, a bunch of new weapon types, which is really interesting because the original Ghost was really just centered around the katana. Now you have a lot more weapons at your disposal, and just knowing how they nailed the combat feel of the last game, I'm looking forward to seeing how they implement that stuff here. Look, Tsushima was so good. Can a sequel live up to that? I don't know for sure, but players will be able to judge for themselves when it releases October 2nd. And now finally, down at number 1, Battlefield 6. Finally making its return after quite a few years of missteps and stumbles, Battlefield 6 is going hard. It feels like they're just putting out all the stops with this one. EA is spending a ton of money on crazy marketing, insane visuals, tons of content, and modes. Is it enough? Well, it depends on who you ask, right? I mean, is it going to try and take down Fortnite and Call of Duty, or just provide another good quality Battlefield game? If you're looking for just good old Battlefield, kind of a return to form, Battlefield 3 and 4, they've been very upfront. That's what they're going for. The destruction is back, the classes are back, the simplicity is back, and it seems like they're pretty confident in what they got. You guys probably, many of you jumped into the free open beta. Generally, it seems like people have really enjoyed their time with that, so I'm hoping that they can really nail it with the full launch in terms of quality of game, not being a buggy, glitchy mess, but also servers. Gonna be a lot of content in this one, community stuff, and more stuff in the pipeline. So I'm excited to see how long Battlefield 6 lasts, like if it's gonna have legs. But look, whether we're playing it for a year or if people end up playing it for 5 years straight, either way, it's exciting to just see a new quality Battlefield game releasing. And you don't have to wait too long because it's dropping October 10th. Those are 10 games to look forward to in October, but believe it or not, there's more than 10. We got some bonus games, including Dispatch, a kind of fun, almost Telltale Games style game centered around superheroes, but not quite in a way you would think. Also, Pokemon Legends ZA. This is the first Pokemon game really taking advantage of the Nintendo Switch 2, hopefully, so the graphics aren't going to look completely like poopy. Also, the battle system is significantly overhauled. Along with that, Modulus, Tormented Souls 2, Recreation, the beautiful Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake, and the really quirky and potentially cool King of Meat. Like I said, a lot of games in October. We couldn't even fit them all in here, but chances are you're looking forward to at least playing one of these games, so let us know in the comments what you're really looking forward to checking out. Has anything really caught your eye? Hit us up. We want to know so we can make videos. If you like this video though, and maybe it helped you out, maybe it informed you, clicking the like button's all you gotta do. We'd really appreciate that. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.